Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 7 things that I actually do in my real life to help me calm down when I feel overwhelmed, anxious, or triggered, which we could all use more reminders of how to do that these days. I know I can. If you're new here, my name is Mia. I'm a mom, I'm a self-care coach, and I live with diagnosed PTSD and depression, and goodness gracious, there needs to be more conversations about how we live with that. So I'm hoping to contribute to that on my channel by sharing how I live, how I cope, how I heal with you. So do me a favor before we dive in. If you like the content you see here, it's absolutely free for you to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so that you get notified when I upload videos. I would really appreciate that support. Alrighty, let's go ahead and dive in. So tip number 1 is breath work. And if you've never heard of breath work before, it's in simplest terms, it's just breathing exercises that help you to breathe in a way that facilitates calming down. There's this response that our nervous system can have. It can either be in the sympathetic state where it's in fight, flight, freeze, and a bunch of other things that start with F. I'm not going to go into it, but basically where you're freaking out and you're trying to survive. And then there's the parasympathetic state, which is rest and digest. And it's when we feel calmer and our body is able to function optimally. And it's just a better way to be. Both are important and both help us to survive in this life. But I think a lot of us could practice being in the rest and digest phase more. I know for me personally, living with PTSD, I experience triggers and overwhelm multiple times a day. So I am regularly trying to get myself into that rest and digest phase. So the reason why breathwork can help with that is because if you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, a lot of times what happens is your breathing can become more shallow, more labored, or you could be hyperventilating. And when you use a breathing exercise that helps you to, for example, inhale deeper and exhale longer, it helps to trigger that parasympathetic response of your nervous system so that you can slow down and feel safe again. There are a lot of different ways that you can practice breath work. I highly recommend trying different types of breathing exercises until you find one that you like. I know for me, I used to try one exercise, and if it didn't work for me, I'm like, this doesn't work for me, and I just stopped trying. And then I realized that living with PTSD is really difficult, and I needed to keep trying until I found what worked, and now I finally have. It's been years that I've been into breath work, and so I'm going to be emailing out a list of recommendations of my favorite breath work practices. So if you're not a part of my email community, I recommend that you join. It's completely free, and I'll leave a link in the description. The second tip that I use on a regular basis is meditation. And I know this is one that can sound difficult to do if you tried like maybe the complete silent meditation where you're supposed to just like observe your thoughts as they float on by. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But basically that type of meditation usually causes my thoughts to race more and I get more overwhelmed and I get agitated. I personally love guided meditation, which sometimes incorporates breath work alongside meditation practices of being mindful, paying attention, and not reacting to your emotions, but just being aware of them. I love that because I find that it works best for me, but I am trying to get better at, the whole sitting in silence thing. So if you're interested in meditation, again, I'll be sending those recommendations to the email list because I can't go into all of them because then this video will be forever long. But the reason why meditation helps you calm down is, again, it helps you to take a pause from the anxiety spiral that maybe your brain is going in, and you can tune into your body, engage that parasympathetic nervous system response. Words are hard today. And it just really helps me to feel calm. And if breathwork and meditation feel really inaccessible to you, I know they did for me. I'm a mom of 2 young kids. My kids are 5 and 3. And I started meditating when my 3-year-old was an infant, so 3 years ago. And I remember learning about meditation and I was just like, this is not doable for me. My kids are always making noise. And then I realized I was being a perfectionist. Surprise, surprise. And I decided that I was going to keep trying different styles of meditation until I found one that worked. Guided meditations work best for me because I can press play, plug earphones in my ears, and as long as I know my kids are safe or my husband's here with them or they're watching a show, I can take a couple of minutes to listen to a guided meditation and be walked through a mindfulness meditative breathing exercise. So there are a lot of different ways to go about it. Don't dismiss it altogether because it's so beneficial and so worth it. And another thing I would say is if you've never done meditation before or you don't have a lot of time, then start with 3 minutes and then work your way up to 5 minutes. I know for me, I do about 10 minutes a day of meditation, but I definitely started with 3 or 5 minutes for a long time. And now it's just Now it's just automatic, which is the beautiful thing about building habits, right? We're always practicing something as human beings. We're always creating habits. So if the same way that you create a habit of checking your phone, you can create a habit of meditating whenever you feel anxious or when you just wake up or right before you go to bed. So again, if I can do it with 2 kids and living with mental health challenges, I mean, I have diagnosed PTSD and major depressive disorder, you can do it too. Breathwork and meditation are really anchors in my daily life. So definitely try those out and look in your inbox this week for those recommendations. And I also have a couple of guided meditations available for free on my YouTube channel, and I'll put one of the recent ones in the cards and I'll link them in the description as well. Okay, the third thing that I do on a regular basis to help me calm down is having intentional movement. And I call it intentional movement because, I don't know, the word exercise sometimes stresses me out because I do associate it with doing intense workouts that I don't enjoy. So I like to call exercise intentional movement. It just feels more approachable to me. But if you like the word exercise, go ahead, use that. For me, my favorite forms of intentional movement are dancing and yoga. And the reason why intentional movement or exercise helps you to calm down is because basically any practice that you do that helps you get back into your body, you know, when our brains get overwhelmed, we tend to like go in another dimension where we're freaking out about scenarios that haven't even happened yet, or we're spiraling down into the past, or we're making up and catastrophizing things in the future. And we're basically just not in our bodies. We've completely left the present moment. We're like on a different planet. And when we do things like breathwork, meditation, or intentional movement, we are bringing ourselves back into our body, and our bodies are always right here. They're always in the present moment. Our breath is always happening right now. So whenever we do things like dancing or yoga that help us to become mindful of our body parts and where we're putting our arm and how we're going into this pose and what that feels like, or what it feels like to dance to Camila Cabello's latest song, Bam Bam, which I love. And just whenever we are back into our body, reconnecting with our body and bridging, you know, that connection between our mind and our body, it helps us to leave the anxiety spiral and come back to the present moment. And the present moment can still be filled with dirty dishes, screaming children, unanswered emails, and all of those things. But when we are connected to ourselves, we just feel calmer. We feel more rejuvenated. We feel more capable of handling the challenges that come our way, which is something I like to remind myself and my clients of all the time. Self-care does not solve all your problems. And whenever we see it painted on social media as this like beautiful thing that's just like, you know, all of your problems melt away, I don't really think self-care does that. For me, the way I approach self-care is this like necessary, non-negotiable thing that I need to do to strengthen myself so that I can handle life's challenges from a stronger place. And so when I choose to dance or when I choose to do yoga in the morning, instead of scrolling on my phone forever, I know that I'm doing something that is building my capacity and building my strength to be able to handle those challenges. So as long as you can find a form of movement that makes you feel good, you know, and know that that's the goal. The goal is to feel good. Then you're going to have a lot more fun with it, and you're more likely to reach for it in times of stress. And that's something I want to kind of highlight here. When we're feeling overwhelmed, triggered, or anxious, you're not in the best headspace to be making the best decisions, right? When we're overwhelmed or triggered, that's usually when we reach for numbing behaviors like biting our nails, picking our skin, drinking way too much coffee, scrolling on your phone after you said you didn't want to touch your phone anymore. We reach for numbing behaviors. So when, you know, just knowing that, just being aware, like when I'm triggered, I'm not in the best headspace. So that's why it's even more important to have a toolbox of nourishing behaviors, nourishing tools that can calm you down, that you like doing. Because if you don't like doing it, you're not going to choose it in a moment of anxiety. So that's why I love choosing dance and yoga, because I personally love dancing. I love doing yoga. I love how slow yoga is. I love how calming it can be. I love that it's, the whole structure of yoga is built around the breath. And so it's like doing breath work and movement at the same time. And yeah, it's just, all of these tools you'll see me sharing with you, the main underlying theme of them is it helps to connect your brain back to your body in the present moment so that you can leave the anxiety spiral and take care of yourself. So My recommendation, if you don't have a great relationship with exercise, is to start small. I never exercise more than 10 minutes a day. To remove perfectionism from it, you don't need to be wearing a aesthetically pleasing, Instagram worthy exercise outfit that you just bought from Target. You literally can do this in your pajamas. You literally don't have to look cute. You literally don't need to clean up all of your kids' toys when you're exercising. I'll insert some video clips of me doing that, of me saying F you to perfectionism and just taking care of myself and calming myself down and regulating myself in the mornings. But really, exercise and intentional movement can be whatever you want it to be. And I think prioritizing your joy is the most important part, doing movement that makes you happy. And whenever my clients struggle with this, I always ask them, like, well, what's your goal? If you go into movement with a specific named goal, like I want to feel calmer, I want to be more present, I want to have more energy, because yes, even 10 minutes of dancing or 10 minutes of yoga can give you more energy, then you're going to be able to be more encouraged and motivated to move your body. That's what helps me. I do, like I said, have the mental health challenges I have, and it causes me to feel extremely fatigued. So when I have that small goal, that doable, clear goal, it makes it more approachable and less overwhelming to exercise. So hopefully that can help you implement some sort of movement in your life on a day-to-day basis, even if it's just stretching for 5 minutes a day. Building on that routine will help you to nourish yourself and fill yourself up instead of starting your day with a ton of anxiety. All right, the next tip I want to share with you, tip number 4. This is my very first time sharing this. I wanted to give myself several months to test this product, but my functional medicine doctor recommended CBD oil, CBD drops. And I've been seeing people talk about this online, like, oh, these CBD drops really help me with my anxiety. And I was just like, there's like 50,000 CBD drop brands out there. And I was nervous because I hear things like, oh, like it's not as regulated because it's so new. So if that's you and you're nervous about choosing the wrong CBD drops, like I was, my doctor recommended this to me. And let me just show you. They're really scratched up because here, it's called Juna. This is Balance, and I take that in the morning. And I just drop it under my tongue, but you can put it in tea or coffee or water. And I take Nightcap at night. And it's also very scratched up because I've been traveling with it. And again, I was, disclaimer, I'm not your doctor, but my doctor recommended this brand to me. And that made me feel like, oh my gosh, finally, like I trust this doctor, and I trust that if she's recommending this brand, then it must be a good brand. And I looked into them more. They look fantastic. The drops work. They do help. Again, I have PTSD, so it's not like they solve all of my problems. They do help take the edge off, which I really appreciate, because right now I'm in between taking medication. I'm trying to find a new medication that works for me, it's a whole thing trying to find good medications. Those of you who take meds for your mental health, you know what I'm talking about. But if you are interested, I reached out to Juna, which, by the way, is a mom-founded, mom-owned company, and all of their products are certified organic. So if that matters to you, they have that. But I reached out and I asked them for a discount code to share with my audience, and I think it's just Mia, like just my name. I'll put the correct code here. And I'll leave more details about that in the description if you're interested. But I have been using these drops since February. And I have to say, it's really nice to have something in my cabinets that helps me with my anxiety that beyond chamomile tea. So if you're interested in trying CBD drops, I recommend Juna wholeheartedly. The next tip that helps me stay calm is napping. And I know a lot of us don't have time for that, but even if you can only nap for 10 minutes where you make it as dark as possible, maybe get an eye mask, put the blanket over your head, which is what I do, sleep is regulating. And if you're like me and you have nightmares every single night, maybe these 10-minute naps throughout the day are your only real respite where you can feel somewhat functional. So even though there's always a ton of things screaming my name, I know at this point of my healing journey and living with PTSD and depression that the naps, if I can have them, if my husband's able to, if he's with the kids and I'm able to walk away from my computer for a little while, I'm gonna take that 10-minute nap. And if anything, we all should just be taking 10-minute breaks throughout the day regardless. I mean, I think our kids will survive for 10 minutes and our work will still be there when we get back. But I can't overstate how important sleep is. And I mean, I know because I don't sleep well. So I take naps as much as possible. And if they have to be super short, please don't be that person that says like, if it's 10 minutes, there's no point. There's always a point. Every time I take a nap for 10 or 15 minutes, I'm like, oh, I wish I had an hour and a half. I always feel more refreshed taking that break than I do, being so exhausted that I'm scrolling on my phone anyway, not getting anything done because I'm too tired to do anything else. So give yourself a nap, give yourself that break. It is well worth it. And it is regulating to the nervous system. It helps you to feel calmer. So it's such an underrated tool. And a lot of us are working from home now. So if you can just shut your eyes on the couch for 10, 15 minutes, your body will thank you. Another tip is so basic and helps you to get your hygiene done in the process, but that's taking a shower or a bath. Something I used to do, I just moved so I don't have a bathtub anymore, but something I used to do when my daughter was an infant, so 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, is take a bath every single night after the kids went to bed. It was the most amazing me time. It cost me almost no money. And apparently there's a lot of scientific benefits to taking warm baths. It lowers your body temperature, which helps improve your sleep. It helps to just calm you down and relax your muscles. If you use Epsom salts, which have magnesium in them, magnesium is really great for your nervous system. It helps to calm you down and it helps to relax your muscles, which is just all good things if you're anxious and you're on edge and your shoulders are like this all day, So taking that bath is great, but if you don't have a bathtub, you only have a shower like me, just still take a hot shower before bed, or just sometimes I'll take a shower in the middle of the day if I didn't take a shower in the morning, because if I'm feeling overwhelmed and I can see that my day is getting derailed because of my anxiety, I know that it's better to take 30 minutes to shower and get dressed than it is to try to push through and white knuckle my way through the overwhelm and the anxiety I'm feeling. Again, taking these pauses, this time out to nourish ourselves and to take care of ourselves, calm ourselves down, is going to help you reclaim your day and bring your day back on track instead of allowing anxiety to kind of just like take it wherever it wants. So yeah, try that. And if you're somebody that dreads taking showers like I do when I feel depression, those of us know, those of us who live with it know, depression for some reason can make taking a bath feel extremely difficult. So some ways that I combat that is I remind myself that the benefits of taking a bath or a shower far outweigh the effort, like the pain of the effort of putting the pain. What am I trying to say? The benefits are so much greater than the challenge of taking the shower, than the challenge of taking a bath, than like the mindset struggle of like, oh my gosh, it feels like such a big deal, right? And sometimes I think we tell ourselves that if we take a shower, we also have to wash our hair and shave our legs and, exfoliate, and we need to do all these things, and I need at least an hour, and we make this huge thing in our heads. We do this all or nothing thing, which is so toxic. And I want you, when you feel yourself telling yourself you need to do 80 steps in order to take a shower or for it to be worthwhile, remind yourself that that's perfectionism talking, and that you're going to make this shower or bath as easy and as doable for you as possible. And if that means telling yourself, okay, we only need to take a bath for 10 minutes, it doesn't need to be a whole hour, and that actually gets you into the tub, then you've won. So minimize that goal so that you're able to actually use these tools. Because if I'm telling you this and you're making the tool have to be as hard as possible, like, oh, Mia said movement, so I need to exercise for an hour and do a HIIT workout, which is really difficult and I hate doing that. Or Mia said I need to take a bath. Well, then I need to make sure that I have the right bubbles and candles and make myself my favorite snack and have all this time. Then you're probably not going to do it. The goal here is that you actually use these tips. So just make sure as you hear me sharing them, you think about how you can apply this in your life with your unique situation, your unique challenges, what's accessible to you, etc., etc. Okay, and the final tip is journaling. I used to journal every single day from when I was 8 years old to when I was 13 years old, and then I stopped for a very long time, and I'm honestly still working my way back into it. And I realized that I journaled so much when I was a kid because it was very regulating for me. It was very calming to narrate basically to myself what's going on in my life. And there's been many studies that have shown that when we narrate what's going on in our life and we kind of break it down and put pen to paper, it has a very regulating effect. It helps us to heal. It helps us to process. So Journaling is one of the most underrated and most affordable tools when it comes to processing and healing, in my opinion. It's why I try to journal at least once a week, and I'm starting to do it more. But if you hate journaling and you need some help getting back into it, a couple of tips. Number one, get a notebook or a journal that you like to use, something that's pretty. Get a pen that you like to use. Yes, even the expensive ones that you feel like you shouldn't have, you deserve it, especially if it helps you to process and journal. And you can even play music if that helps you. But please don't worry about wasting the pages. Don't worry about wasting ink. You're not a waste. You're not wasting anything. You don't need to have perfect handwriting to journal. Mine definitely is not. Just know that this tool is a tool. It's meant to be used, and it is scientifically proven to help people process and work through things. Just writing things down helps you to process and deal with your emotions, and it's such a good tool for anxiety and overwhelm. It's such a good tool, especially if you feel triggered all day long, for you to start to understand what triggered me. Why did I snap at my partner? Why did I snap at my kids? What happened before that? And by just journaling at the end of the day and reflecting back on maybe moments of feeling triggered, you can start to pinpoint what's actually going on with you. And that is such important data that you can then take to your therapist or your counselor or your coach and go, hey, I noticed a trend. I always get triggered with my kids around meal times, and I think it's for these reasons. And it just gives you something to discuss, because all of us know that by the time we get around to our weekly or monthly therapy appointment, we've forgot like half the things we went through. And that's why it's so good to journal, because you don't have to hold it up here. You can just have a record of it and have that information to bring to the person who's trying to help you with your health. So journal. It's super, super helpful. And if you are new to it, beyond like the tips I just shared of getting, a pretty journal and a nice pen, using prompts can be really helpful. Journaling prompts, it's like somebody took the thought out of it. They took the work of you thinking of what to write about away, and they just handed it to you. And writing journaling prompts is something I do a lot. And I also do send journaling prompts to my email list. Again, link in description. It's completely free to sign up for that resource. But yeah, I highly recommend you try journaling. It's really an amazing practice. But those are the 7 tips for today. And if you are interested in learning more tips and ways to practice calming yourself down when you're feeling anxious, I have an entire class dedicated to this. It's called Nourish over Numb, and it's available in my program, The No Longer Last Journey. If you are new here, The No Longer Last Journey is a 12-month group coaching program where I provide coaching, community, classes, and compassionate accountability that are all designed to help you prioritize your health, happiness, and well-being. Over a dozen women have already gone through the program, actually almost 20 women, and I've had amazing feedback, and you can read those testimonials and learn more about the program on my website at miahemstad.com/no longer last, and I'll leave all those details in the description for you. But yeah, I also send monthly journal prompts to my clients, and we journal live together on Zoom every month in our coaching and community call. And it's just a really amazing space to make sure that your healing and your health and your happiness are top of mind, or front and center really in your life, because I know we're all really busy and there's a lot going on in the world, and it can be really easy to neglect yourself and forget about yourself. So the mission of No Longer Last and this program and this YouTube channel is to just help you remember you, to help you remember that you're important and that you're worthy of the same love and care that you give to everybody else, and your needs deserve to be prioritized and not an afterthought in your life. So I hope that this video has helped you today. I hope that if you want to learn about my program, you just head to that link and check it out. No pressure at all. Just take a look at it and see if it's for you. And if you have any questions, you can email me or leave me a comment. And I also want you to know that because it is Mental Health Awareness Month this May, I have special bonuses running, and I also have a huge discount. So if you use the code May20, you will get 20% off the program. So you can save up to $300 on this program, and I've never offered such a big discount. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave all the information below for you to check out. But thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I seriously appreciate it. And again, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you next week. Take care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.